Episode 8 begins with a scene where that woman meets Hangul. She mentions his name. Hangul asks, "Who are you?" That woman doesn't say anything. She gives him some money and tells him not to tell his uncle about this. She then leaves. Meanwhile, we see Jae-gyu and Eun-bom having a ball. Jin-hyuk passes by and says to himself, "I wonder what's wrong with ISO these days. She lives with Santaik. She said she'd watch me practice, but she went to an amusement park." Just then, Jin-hyuk sees them together and approaches them. He's also surprised. Later, he asks them, "Are you dating?" Both say yes. Eun-bom says, "Please don't tell anyone about this." Jae-gyu stops Eun-bom and says, "I can handle it." He then approaches her. Jin-hyuk is terrified when he sees this. He tries to back away, but Jae-gyu falls at his feet and says, "Please don't tell anyone. I'll do whatever you ask me to do." Jin-hyuk replies, "You scared me." Jungkook calls Eun-bom over and says, "I heard you're close to Sejin's brother. Get information about his company from him." She says, "Okay." Jin-hyuk pulls Jin-hyuk aside and says, "You said you'd do anything for me." Jin-hyuk agrees. Jin-hyuk asks him to do something, saying, "We'll find out about it later." Han-gil is at home, looking at that woman's money, when Jin-hyuk arrives. Han-gil tries to explain where the money came from, but Jin-hyuk yells, "How could he ask me to do such a thing?" Jin-hyuk goes into his room, and Han-gil is unable to say anything. In the morning, we see Eun-bom coming into the office, but Esuk is in front of her. She tries to sneak away, but Esuk catches her. He asks, "What did you do on the weekend? You went to the amusement park, right? I saw you were with someone." Just then, Jin-hyuk arrives. Esuk hands her her purse and says, "Check this. She was with me at the time. We went for a walk in the park." Then, he speaks to Eun-bom alone. He hands her a slip of paper and says, "Anyway, it says everything you need to know about Santai. You can ask Young." Eun-bom says, "Okay, I want to ask you something. You talked to Jae-gyu yesterday. You wouldn't have asked him to kill anyone, right?" He doesn't say anything. In the next scene, we see Esuk coming to the sports center. She says to herself, "I shouldn't have signed up here. I signed up for 6 months. I'll get a refund today." Later, she comes inside, but sees Jin-hyuk fighting with Jae-gyu. He defeats him, throws him down, and knocks him out. Seeing this, Isuk is shocked. Jae-gyu recalls such a scene. "Why am I doing this?" He talks to Jin-hyuk, asking, "Have you ever lost before?" Jae-gyu replies, "My losing is like dying." Jin-hyuk says, "Okay, you'll have to lose for a day." He's in front of Isuk. Now we learn that this is why Jae-gyu is deliberately losing here, falling repeatedly. Isuk is overjoyed to see this. Jin-hyuk repeatedly compliments her, but she tells him she's going to get a refund. Jin-hyuk interrupts her, saying, "Didn't you see how I defeated Jae-gyu? You can do it too. I'll teach you. You quickly change your clothes and come back." Isuk does the same later. In the next scene, we see Eun-bom at home. She wonders what Jin-yu must have asked Jae-gyu to do. She repeatedly looks at the box Jae-gyu gave her, telling herself, "I already miss him. What could be inside, and how much I miss him. I have to open it." Later, she picks up Bumsuk and goes out to hang out. Bumsuk nearly has an accident on his bicycle, but she saves him, narrowly avoiding falling. Then, she sees an insurance agent in front of her, who turns out to be that woman. Eun-bom recognizes her, and that woman also recognizes her. She realizes that she's the same person she saw with Jae-gyu at the playground. Eun-bom causes that woman's purse to fall, so she asks him to pick it up. Eun-bom does the same. They start talking about purses. Eun-bom mentions that your purse is very expensive. I've heard about it. Later, she tells Is that you're an insurance company, but you can't knowingly insure anyone. You keep coming here again and again. That woman says, Jae-gyu must have said I'm an insurance agent, but that's not true. What's our relationship? You'll have to ask him about it yourself. With that, she leaves. Hangul is at school. He's putting money in the locker. Just then, Sejin arrives, and he notices her too. But Sejin doesn't see her. Hangul later starts searching for a gift to give his crush. I's twins are there. They see him doing this and tease him later. He was telling his story about how they convened, but the story doesn't turn out to be anything special. Then the two twins start jokingly fighting. Principal Gwon-soo arrives and says, finals are about to be held. You're doing all this. You shouldn't be doing this. Later, he starts praising Hangul for being the topper. Hearing this, Hangul looks at Sejin and says to himself, I've figured out the gift that will make Sejin happy. In the next scene, we see Jae-gyu arriving at his house. But there's a document outside the door. Seeing it, he says to himself, I told him not to come here. He didn't listen. Just then, Eun-bom arrives with Bomsik. Jae-gyu looks at her and asks, what are you doing here? Today wasn't my day to meet Bomsik. After thinking about it, he says, I know you couldn't resist. If that's the case, why did you make me wait for 2 years? Eun-bom later says, I met the insurance lady. He's not an agent. Now tell me who he is. If you lie again, you'll see. Everything between us will be over. Jae-gyu continues explaining. We see a past scene where the woman, named Jae-In, brings Hangul to her house. But her father, drunk, wants to kill her. Jae-gyu intervenes and prevents this from happening. He tells Jae-In to take her child and leave. Jae-In does so later. Jae-gyu comes out to meet Jae-In and says, you know that every time you come here, Dad will beat you, so why do you keep coming here? Jae-In starts saying that our mother didn't have an accident. Jae-gyu yells and says, I don't want to hear anything. Now tell me, what are you going to do? How will you raise Hangul? You don't even have money. Hyeon gives her Hangul and says, I'm going to Seoul. I'll earn money. I'll come back after earning money. The 3 of us will leave. We won't live with your father. He won't be able to bother us anymore. In the present, Jae-gyu tells Yeonbum, I haven't even told Hanjul about this until today. That's why I lied. Please forgive me for that. Yeonbum says, it's okay. I understand you. But Hangul should know who her mother is. Jae-gyu yells and says she's not fit to be a mother. Yeonbum says, you can't decide. If I were Hangul, I would want to meet my mother. I want to talk to her. Just then, Hangul arrives and starts playing with Bomsek. Yeonbum tells Jae-gyu to think about what she said. She leaves. Later, they are having dinner at home. Jae-gyu asks Hangul, do you need anything? If you need anything, just tell me. I'll give you everything. You can even take my body. But Hangul replies, you've raised me since childhood. I don't want anything. Why are you saying such things today? Jae-gyu replies, it's nothing, just like that. In the next scene, students are taking exams at school. Yeon-bum is watching Hangul finish his exam, who is sleeping afterward. Seeing this, she tells him to finish his exam. But Hangul says, I already finished. The children are amazed to see that he finished his exam in just 10 minutes. The next scene is with Jae-gyu at home. Jae-gyu recalls what we talked about when we were with Hyeon at the cafe. Hyeon hands over the documents and says, Dad never gave us anything except this piece of land. But this is yours too. You signed this document. We'll build a resort there. Jae-gyu asks, how many years have you been here? You didn't even ask how Hangul is. You just want a piece of land. Hyeon says, okay, I won't come here again. Just sign. Now, in the present, they see that it rains heavily. There were lightning strikes. The power goes out. But that doesn't happen at their place because they have solar panels. Dong-kyo calls Jae-gyu and says, this happened to my grandmother, and there's no electricity. Can we come to your place? Jae-gyu says, okay, I'm coming to pick you up. Hangul asks, can Sejin and her brother come too? Jae-gyu says, why would he come? Hangul says, the power's out, and we have exams tomorrow. Sejin will be in trouble. Jae-gyu says, okay, whatever you do is your choice. In the next scene, we see everyone from the village arrive, making a commotion. Jae-gyu also arrives, bringing Dong-pae and his grandmother. He sees this and asks Hangul what this is all about. Later, Jae-gyu comes to the stairs, shouting at them to calm down. Jae-gyu says, I'll give you food. You can sleep here, but we'll have to divide the work. I'll tell you who will do what. Hangul tells Jae-gyu, I called Yeonbum, but she didn't pick up. Just then, Sejin and her brother arrive. Jae-gyu asks Ijin where Yeonbum is. Ijin says, we talked before, but then we don't know where she went. Jae-gyu says, okay, I'm going to look for her. Ijin comes along. Isu is in the kitchen, doing her chores. She also talks on the phone with Sungtae, who had moved to Seoul. Jin-hyuk is watching her. Later, he comes up to her and says, I need to talk to you. He pulls her aside. Jin-Young tells her that he's not a good person. He's cheating on her. Isu says, "What nonsense are you talking about?" Jin-Young later says, "I spoke to Yeonbom first and asked if she found out anything about Sungtae." Yeonbom says, "I did ask her. She tells him that Sungtae was never married and is a bachelor." He tells Isu about all this. Isu is shocked to hear this, because Sungtae had said that he was divorced. In the next scene, we see Jae-gyu looking for Yeonbom. We also see Yeonbom in the garbage dump, searching for something. Later, it's revealed to be the box Jae-gyu gave him. However, it's unclear how it got there. Just then, we see a signboard made of iron, shaking in the wind. The nuts and bolts are loose, and it's falling down. Eun-bom looks at him. Then the scene cuts. We go to the house, where Jin-gu is cleaning the toilet. He says to himself, "Dongpo's grandmother took the remote. I wanted to watch the football match. I'll come here to use the toilet." But he shoos them away. Sejin was also there, looking around. But then she sees Hangul, who is playing a game. Sejin says, "There's an exam tomorrow. Why is he playing this game?" Hangul comes in later to do the laundry. Sejin also hides there, watching him. Hangul starts taking off her clothes. Sejin's voice is heard. Hangul sees it. Sejin accidentally falls on him. They look at each other, wanting to kiss, but it doesn't happen. Sejin steps back. Hangul asks, "What are you doing here?" Sejin says, "What else would I be doing? Spying on you. I want to find out how you finished your exam in 10 minutes yesterday." Hangul says, "If that's the case, you should have told me. I would have told you how." Then he brings her to his room. He shows her several books, notes, and says, "There's an exam tomorrow. You can read them here. You can study here all night. No one will disturb you." Sejin asks, "Can I sleep?" He says, "Yes." He leaves later. Sejin comes to her bed, lies down, and says, "I'm in Hangul's room." Then she remembers the scene where she fell on Hangul. She blushes at the memory. In the next scene, we see Yeonbom at the dustbin. She sees Ijin. Yeonbom asks, "Are you okay?" Yeonbom replies, "What happened to me?" Yeonbom tells her the whole story. Yeonbom then brings her inside. Yeonbom is calling Nani. He tells Yeonbom, "Take a shower. I have to pick up the call." He then leaves. Just then, Jae-gyu appears in front of Yeonbom. He asks, "What were you doing outside?" Yeonbom replies, "I was looking for something." Yeonbom replies, "Don't you have any common sense? Who goes out in such bad weather?" Yeonbom says, "I had my reasons," but Yeonbom keeps telling him. Yeonbom said, "I can't stay here anymore." Yeonbom then goes outside. Yeonbom comes with her. Yeonbom asks, "Why are you following me? You said I have no common sense." Jae-gyu says, "I was just looking out for you. You shouldn't have gone out. No matter what it was, you shouldn't have gone out like that." Yeonbom later shows him what appears to be a box and says, "I went out for this. Now you understand, there could be anything inside. It could be something expensive, or even a ring you're going to propose to me with." Jae-gyu asks, "Did you go out just for this? I could give you 1,000 more gifts like this." Yeonbom says, "I don't know. This was my first gift from you. I want to keep it safe." Jae-gyu says, "That's fine, but the signboard could have fallen on you." Yeonbom says, "How did you know? I didn't even mention the signboard." Jae-gyu later recalls seeing Eun-bi. The signboard was about to fall on her. "I ran like that." Yeonbom is nearby, and he sees it too. He was also running. Jae-gyu, trying to save Yeonbom, hits his shoulder on a signboard and falls down. So, Yoonjin takes Yeonbom in his arms. Jae-gyu was lying nearby, bleeding from his shoulder. Jae-gyu asks Yeonbom if she's okay. Yoonjin says she's fine, she just fainted. "But what about you? Go quickly and get yourself treated." Presently, Yeonbom is shocked to hear this. Jae-gyu says, "I tried to hide it, but you found out." She asks him how his shoulder is. Jae-gyu replies, "It's fine." However, she sees him and asks him if he's crying. But Jae-gyu denies it, saying, "I've never cried before." Yeonbom says there are tears in his eyes, but Jae-gyu refuses. Yeonbom tells him to stop crying, but Jae-gyu says, "I don't know how to stop them." She says to count the numbers. Jae-gyu does the same and says nothing happened. She starts tickling him, but nothing happens. She then kisses him on the cheek and sees that Jae-gyu has calmed down. Jae-gyu starts to leave, but he catches her, saying, "We need to do something else to calm me down completely." He kisses her. Then he brings her to his house and asks, "Can you stay here?" She starts talking about Hangul's mother. Jae-gyu says, "I'm scared that I lied to Hangul, saying that his parents died in a fire. I wonder how Hangul will feel when he finds out that his mother left him." Inside the house, they see Hangul drinking water. Just then, Seo-Jin arrives. Hangul asks, "What do you want?" Seo-Jin says, "I'm cold." Hangul says, "Okay, there's a heating mat in my uncle's room. I'll bring it." He then enters the room, but then sees the document, which is the one from the ground. Then he sees Hyeon's seal and asks, "Why is a dead person's seal here?" He comes out with the document. He's watching them both. Jae-gyu sees the document and realizes that Hangul must have found out. Hangul then mentions Hyeon's name and asks, "Is that my mother's name? You said she died. Is she alive?" The episode ends. We'll meet in episode 9. Until then, bye. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel.